From the studios of WFAN in New York and simulcast across the country via the ES Network, this is Mike's on Francesa on the Fan for what will be a very busy Thursday program. Another beautiful day here in September as we just click them out one after another. I've said this forever, that the September weather is by far the best every year. It's amazing. It's just like every day is like a cookie cutter. It's almost like being in San Diego. Boom, boom, boom. Every day. We got a great, very busy show for you today. Now, I wasn't going to address this, and often I don't like wasting your time and my time with nonsense, but since it has become a story and was in the paper today, you know, and the only reason I'm doing this is because my wife won't talk to me until I do it. Sunday, when we opened the season up, with the NFL Now, I did what I usually do. I got up 6 o'clock Sunday morning, came in here, did the NFL Now, went home, watched football. By the time my day's over, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm finishing up after watching Denver and Peyton Manning, which was a pleasure. Sitting there in my office watching that on Sunday night. And then, as happens sometimes, you know, when your kids get sick, which happened, and one of my sons suffers from asthma, Jack, and recently as the weather changes, he has some exercise-induced asthma, and I didn't get to sleep Sunday night. So, you know, that happens as a parent. I mean, luckily I have healthy kids, and, you know, sometimes it happens. Now, when my wife got mad at me, it's because I didn't mention this when I came in here on Monday, and Monday morning when I put the kids to school, which I do every morning, I put them on a school bus, she was fighting with me not to go leave early, which I did, and she said, you better get some sleep because you haven't slept. You can't go into a show, and I said, I've done it a million times. And she's like, you know, you're not 20 anymore. Well, I came in, I hadn't slept all night, and obviously I was dragging during the show, which led to me closing my eyes during a Sweeney Murdy interview and causing this hurrah, which none of us here knew about until yesterday, because people now accuse me of being asleep during the Sweeney because I closed my eyes during the interview, which I shouldn't have done. And I was exhausted. I hadn't slept the night before. Okay, and I've done that many times through the years. I mean, 25 years, I can tell you, not just when my kids were born, but many times. I mean, Dog and I did 25 hours in a row. There were many nights where I have come in here and not slept all night and done a show. So maybe I have to never try that again at this stage because I was exhausted late in the show. But I can promise you this. I did close my eyes during the Sweeney interview for a minute, and it was on TV, and that's become this big bone of contention because I guess everything we do on the show does. But I can promise you, as you can go listen to the interview, I was never asleep. I promise you. So, and I'll promise I'll never close my eyes again, nor will I come in without sleeping because my wife says you can't do that anymore. So, obviously, she and Shirley, who knew about this, said, go in there and tell them what happened. And I'm like, it's nobody's business. But since it now has become a story, that is exactly what happened. But I promise you that, A, I will come in having gotten my rest, although, you know, sometimes you can't help it as a parent. It happens, you know. And we've had 2 or 3 of those over the summer, where a couple of them, well, one was in a hospital. So, I mean, he just gets these attacks at night once in a while, which he'll outgrow. I mean, you know, and he's healthy, thank God. But he does get these exercise-induced attacks. And number 2, in the morning, I could have canceled my things and not left early, and I could have canceled my commitments and gotten a couple hours before I came in, which I probably should have done, which is what she was mad about. But they were like, and so he was fighting with me last night because Raceman, who put it in the paper today, called Cherney, and Cherney called me and said, why don't you just tell him what happened? And I'm like, no, tell him to basically, you know, kiss off, which is what those guys heard me say to them in the control room. And Raceman, being a terrible reporter, even blew the line I gave Cherney. I said, tell him that I was dreaming about the Marconi I was hoping to win next week, not next year. The NAB Marconi Awards are announced next Thursday night in Dallas, and I'm a finalist for the Marconi for the 2nd straight year. Now, Dog and I won one back in 2000. I would like very much to win a second one. Last year I was a finalist, which is top 5 in the country. I didn't get it. Now I'm a finalist again this Thursday night. We were going to travel to Dallas. We decided not to. You want to keep your fingers crossed with me? Go ahead. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The announcement is Thursday night. And, you know, it's hard to be a finalist. You know, I've been a finalist now 2 years in a row, and it's hard to get a second one. I've got one with Dog in 2000, and last year I was a finalist. This year I'm again a finalist, so he even botched the line, which was he's dreaming of winning the Marconi next year. No, dreaming of winning it next week. It's next Thursday, the NAB dinner down in Dallas. And we were going to go, and we said, boy, it's a long way to go if you don't win. So, and FAN's up for station. and I'm up for the singular award. And so, if you want to say a little prayer for me, I'll take them. So, and enough on this nonsense. So let's get back to doing what we do, which is not talking about this nonsense, but talking about sports and what we do. And I think we do better than anybody else. And we got a great show for you today because we have Joe Girardi and we have Greg Schiano as he brings Tampa up. As a matter of fact, Rutgers is in South Florida tonight. They're in Tampa. So he can walk outside and look at his old team as he prepares this week, but he'll be up and talk to us at the 4 o'clock hour. We hope to have Jim Calhoun, who is retiring at 2. We'll let you hear some of that and see some of that on Yes and hear some of that